book lovers, I'm Elise and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the books that I plan to be reading in the month of January. This video is super late. Typically I like to have my TBRs out at the end of the month prior. That did not happen for this month. It is what it is. For the year of 2023, I've set myself a couple goals because I am an INTP. Because I am an INTP and an Enneagram 5, I definitely like to have quantitative goals that I can work towards. There definitely seems to be a trend in the new year of not really setting a goal for number of books to read, but I can't do that. I need to have a goal to work towards. For the year of 2023, I have set my reading goal to 144 books. I've only been tracking my reading since 2020, and that year I had read 19 books. 2021, I had read, I think like 52 books. And for the year of 2022, I made it to my goal of 100 books and kind of stopped there. This year, increasing my goal to 144 books definitely sounds like quite an increase. I didn't focus so much on the overall books read for the year. I tried to focus on books read for the month. If my goal is to read on average 12 books a month, that would come out to 144 books. So here we are. I did also set myself a goal to read a little bit differently this year. I'll talk about it more in my December wrap up, but my most read genre for the year of 2022 really surprised me. A lot of the genres that I actually prefer to read, I didn't read so much of. This year, I'm gonna be focusing on reading more sci-fi and fantasy and historical fiction. I do still love thrillers. I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of thrillers, a lot of horror, but I definitely wanna get my sci-fi and historical fiction numbers back up there because I didn't read very many of those last year. And another goal that I'm setting for myself is to be more lenient with my DNFing. There's nothing worse than trudging through a book that you're not enjoying, and I did that way too much last year, and I don't wanna do that again. And I have actually already DNF'd 2 books so far this year on my Instagram. I have a separate stories highlight just for my 2023 DNFs, so I'll be tracking all of those there. As I said, I do want to be reading on average 12 books a month, but for my TBR videos, I think I'm only probably going to talk about 6 books or so each month because at the end of the day, I am definitely a mood reader. I want to leave myself the opportunity to pick up books on a whim as I see fit. Today, I'm only going to be telling you about 6 books. I do have, I think it's 3 other books that I know for sure I'll be reading, but they are actually for a readathon that's going on later this month, and I'm hoping to vlog the entire thing, so I'm gonna wait to introduce that TBR until that video. The first book I plan on reading in the month of January is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This book has been a long time coming. Back in November, I started an Emily Henry vlog, and it has taken me a lot longer to finish than anticipated. Hopefully you will be seeing that come out later this month, and unfortunately there's gonna be a lot of Christmas content on there, but this is I believe it's a friends to lovers romance between Poppy and Alex. So they've been friends for a really long time, I think ever since college, and for about a decade, every summer they would go on vacation together, but 2 years ago, something happened and they stopped doing their vacations, and we're not really sure why. Until one day, Poppy has an opportunity come up, and she tries to convince Alex to go on one more vacation with her, and I think it's probably safe to say they fall in love. The next book on my January TBR is The Storied Life of AJ Vickery by Gabrielle Zevin. I picked this one up back in December. I just realized this is the same author as Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I don't know why that blows my mind, but it does. The synopsis on this one is pretty vague, but it is a contemporary fiction novel about this man who lives alone. He has a bookstore, and one day one of his prized possessions is stolen from him, and then a mysterious package arrives and things happen and his life changes. Like I said, that's pretty vague. Some blurbs on the back say this novel has humor, romance, a touch of suspense, but most of all, love. A fun, page-turning delight, captures the joy of connecting people and books. Entertaining, engaging, and funny. Marvelously optimistic. The next book on my January TBR is The Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I'm really nervous about this one, to be honest with you. It is science fiction, check, but it's literary science fiction. And something that I have learned about myself over the past year of reading, I don't like literary. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because I need more fast paced, I need more suspense, or whatever it may be, but literary typically is not my jam. I have read The Glass Hotel by this author, did not care for that one either. But I did love Station 11. There is still hope. I have no idea what this is about. I've heard things about like moon colonies, a novel of art, time, love, and plague that takes the reader from Vancouver Island in 1912 to a dark colony on the moon nearly 500 years later, unfurling a story of humanity across centuries and space. It sounds super interesting. We shall see. The next book on my January TBR is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This I'm actually buddy reading with my friend Keisha over at A Book Like You. It is a mystery fantasy, a tale of power, privilege, dark magic, and murder among the Ivy League elite. So it sounds like a little bit dark academia, a little bit fantasy, a little bit mystery. I've never read Leigh Bardugo. Ooh. Kind of pretty. Ooh, and it's blurred by Stephen King, the best fantasy novel I've read in years. Okay. Next up is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. This one I'm really excited about. I've been excited to read this ever since I got it from Book of the Month. I'm nervous about one thing, and that is because Storygraph classifies this as a literary historical fiction. I love historical fiction. As I said before, not a huge fan of literary, but I'm still really excited. It's about early 1960s, and this woman, Elizabeth, is part of a primarily male team at Hastings Research Institute. I don't honestly know much about it. I just know that there's science involved. It takes place in the early 60s. If Mad Men told me anything, it's I love the 60s. And this was also deemed the book of the year by Barnes & Noble. And the last book I'm going to be talking about today is Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun. This is book number 3 in the Finley Donovan series. I have this as an audio art from NetGalley. I loved Finley Donovan is killing it. It made my top 10 best books of the year from last year. I didn't love the second one so much. I'm actually really contemplating rereading that before I start listening to the third one, just to maybe like refresh my mind a little bit, but I might not. I haven't decided yet. This one will be coming out later this month on January 31st. Okay, friends, that is it. Let me know down in the comments what are some books that you're really hoping to get to this month. And if you've read any of the ones that I plan on reading, let me know what you thought. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, bye.